In case you missed it, a viral tweet recently sparked conversation. Why isn't anyone talking about how King Von was beefing with YoungBoy the entire night he died over text messages? The tweet implies that YoungBoy may have played a role in setting Von up to encounter his crew on a dark street. The man who ultimately shot and killed King Von, Lil Tim, an affiliate of YoungBoy's circle, later did an interview expressing regret, saying he wishes it had never happened.
I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if bro and did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, yeah, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying like that, because I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. But like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That shit never happened.
King Von wasn't even supposed to be there that night. Even his cousin Bo mentioned that something felt off, as if Von's own bodyguard was being paid by someone else not to protect him.
Security guard let him walk. You get paid he get paid to protect. How the f you let him walk over? Like, you ain't supposed to let him fight. He ain't supposed to be touching nobody. Security guard, if anything, you make sure Quando them leave. Whoever else they was with, you make sure they leave. How you let him walk over somebody that's the reason y'all here, the reason everybody in this parking lot here, this man right here making the money, y'all his entourage. That security guard was some fishy with him. That's why he deleted his Instagram. Right. So I definitely feel like it's foul play. I don't know where it's coming from, but I definitely feel like it's some weird.
In the body cam footage from that night, while chaos erupts, people panicking, screaming, trying to understand what's going on, King Von's bodyguards are noticeably absent from protecting him. But recently released court documents related to King Von's murder changed everything. According to the files, on November 5th, 2020, Von and his crew went to a club to celebrate the release of his new album. It was meant to be a night honoring his music and a promising future, but it ended in tragedy. Fully aware of the risks that come with being a public figure with ties to the streets, Von took his safety seriously. His manager confirmed that Von brought a crew of 25 members to the club that night, emphasizing just how committed he was to staying protected.
He traveled with one security that moves with Von, and he traveled with two more security. You know what I'm saying? Von traveled in a crew truck, and not only that, his guys are security, man. He traveled with 10 to 15 guys daily. They protect and love Von more than any security will. We're like 8, 10 cars deep, 20, 25, some entourage.
But as the night went on, something shifted. Von started acting differently, and that change would ultimately lead to his death. After his album release party wrapped up at the club, Von reportedly received a text from NBA YoungBoy around 2:30 a.m. The two had been beefing, mostly over past relationships with the same women. When Von and his entourage began leaving the club, the original plan was for everyone to head back to their Airbnb and hotels. But suddenly, Von changed course, and he didn't tell anyone what the new plan was.
Everybody's mind leaving the club is that we're going to the hotel and Airbnb, because that's normal routine. The club you went to, the after hours wasn't getting paid for, and I have no acknowledgement of his team. That have no acknowledgement of. That was the complete Von decision.
As the rest of the crew made their way to the Airbnb, King Von quietly told his driver to head to a different spot, a club called Monaco Lounge. That single decision marked the first of several choices that would ultimately lead to his tragic end.
Everybody else that was with us driving to the Airbnb, and Von literally went to the venue by himself. We got a call later from people in the car, like, hey bro, we hit by, matter of fact, I think from the DJ was like, hey bro, you know, we hit by ourselves. Like, where you guys at? And everybody rerouted to that venue.
When the rest of the team found out about the change in plans, they quickly turned their cars around and headed to Monaco Lounge. As soon as Von's manager arrived, he sensed something was off. King Von wasn't his usual upbeat, energetic self. He was unusually quiet, sitting in the back left seat of his Escalade, locked into a tense back-and-forth text exchange with NBA YoungBoy. While the crew was ready to head into the club, Vaughn stayed behind, sitting in the SUV for 30 minutes, lost in his thoughts.
For some reason, Vaughn was, this man is like, I promise you, the best artist I ever moved in my life. For some reason that night, it was off. Like, he stayed in the car for like 30, 35 minutes.
After his manager urged him repeatedly to get out of the car, Vaughn finally agreed to head into the club. The only issue was that entering the venue required his security team to check in their firearms, leaving King Von more vulnerable than usual. Still, before he stepped inside, his team swept through the club to make sure everything was secure.
Went to the car he was in. I was like, yo, Vaughn. Went inside the passenger seat. I was like, yo, Vaun, bro, what's going on? Everybody here, wait, let's go. He was like, all right, let's go. We're telling security, hey, it's time to go in now. Vaughn's ready. You know what I'm saying? We've been here too long. Let's go inside. Check the venue, go inside, check the outside, make sure there's no...
But no one on Vaughn's team anticipated that the real danger would be waiting outside in the parking lot. One of Vaughn's crew members spotted Quando Rondo and his people sitting inside a white SUV and quickly reported it back to Vaughn. However, according to some accounts, Vaughn was expecting NBA YoungBoy himself to show up instead.
Right before we go inside the club, one of his homeboys came to the car and said, hey, so-and-so's here. And Vaughn just jumped up like, oh, come on, let's go.
Without hesitation, King Von jumped out of his truck, determined to confront Quando Rondo, an affiliate of YoungBoy's crew. His team tried to hold him back, urging him to stay calm and avoid causing a scene, but Vaughn wouldn't back down. He moved around to the front of Quando's vehicle, then came around to the passenger side and threw the first punch.
Jumped out the car. By the time Vaughn jumped out the car, I don't even think he knew where so-and-so was. He just jumped out the car. He bumped into so-and-so. As soon as he bumped into so-and-so, started brawling.
Just seconds into the fight, Quando Rondo's friend, Lil Tim, came around the other side of the vehicle and opened fire, hitting King Von 4 times and striking his manager once in the leg. While some of Von's crew had already entered the club, a few members were still outside and still armed. They immediately fired back at Lil Tim, hitting him and causing him to collapse a few feet away. As gunshots rang out in the area, 2 off-duty police officers and 1 on-duty officer responded to the chaos, opening fire at the scene as well. In the crossfire, one of King Von's crew members was fatally shot by police. Amid the gunfire echoing through the Atlanta streets, King Von lay on the ground beside Quando Rondo. Rumors quickly spread that Quando had tried to snatch Von's chain during the altercation, but Von's manager later clarified that wasn't the case. He said Von was actually holding on to Quando, possibly using him as a shield in a desperate attempt to protect himself from the bullets.
Was he trying to take Von's chain, or?
Honest truth, I don't think he really had no jewelry on, and from the people that was a little closer, Vaughn was actually holding onto him. You didn't know it. You hear like even through getting that strong, like he was literally holding him.
Once the chaos began to settle and the officers pulled back, the desperate race to save King Von's life began. His best friend, Mua, ran into the street, shoved Quando out of the way, and lifted Von off the ground. Meanwhile, Quando and his crew quickly jumped into their SUV and sped off toward the hospital. Von's friends stayed focused on getting him help. They carried him into their own vehicle and rushed to the hospital as fast as they could. What's shocking is that Von remained conscious during the entire ride. According to those in the car, he was calm, even trying to keep everyone's spirits up, reassuring them that he was going to be okay.
In the car, I myself wasn't there. The gentleman that was in the car with him was panicking, and Vaughn was the one that was like, hey, calm down, slow down, chill, I'm gonna be good. Come to the hospital. And honestly, we all thought that the way he was carrying himself from that incident and what I was told from the people in the car, that he would be fine.
When they arrived at the hospital, King Von was rushed into emergency surgery. Not long after, people close to him took to social media sharing heartbreaking updates. One tweet read, "Von made it through 2 surgeries, woke up screaming for it. His gun went into shock and passed. He only had 1 more surgery left to go."
He made it through 2 surgeries. He got 3 surgeries, but he made it through 2 surgeries. And then after the second surgery, he hopped off the bed and started fighting the nurse and said where his gun at, and he went into the shop. So he was
Wow.
surgery. How hours later, Taylor knows He fought the nurse. He the one told me that. His mama didn't even know that. How you knowing what's going on inside the hospital? That because she was here in the hospital.
Since King Von was alive for some time after being shot, and with this information only now coming to light, many are questioning how Boozy knew 2 years ago that Von didn't have a firearm on him during the incident.
Like you said, the King Von situation. Like there was absolutely no reason for Von to be rolling around with that dude. Like, there was no, especially since he had security, like, you know, someone should have jumped in. He should never even. I almost feel like if you have real security.
I feel like they would have been more ready and calm.
Sad, man. Sad. I mean, the whole King Von thing is really
that me up,
for everyone right now.
That me up, bro. I like King Von.
When news of King Von's death broke, it sent shockwaves through the entire rap industry. No one expected Von to fall victim to a beef with another rapper, especially given his reputation as one of Chicago's most fearless and dangerous gang figures.
Was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends.
Two groups of individuals got into a physical altercation. That physical altercation escalated into an exchange of...
After Von's death, life in O-Block changed dramatically. Fear gripped the neighborhood. People were scared to even step outside. You can see the tension firsthand in this Instagram live video.
Walk over here, see this Von picture. I know it's a lot of options. I'm running y'all see where I'm at. Why is this black truck still right here?
On Quando's side, Lil Tim survived his injuries and was hospitalized. But the very next day, he was charged with the murder of King Von. However, after prosecutors thoroughly reviewed the case and Lil Tim claimed self-defense, he was released. The charges were eventually dropped. But Von's closest friends weren't about to let it slide. They felt they had to respond. There was no way they could let what happened to Von go unanswered. In the months that followed, a major hit was carried out against members of Quando Rondo's